No one could have thought that it was her last Valentine's Day. Ignacio Manriquez was shot to death 3 times by his ex, Juan Manuel Navarro, in front of their 4-year-old son in a Loma Linda hospital parking lot, on Valentine's Day of 1993. Juan changed his mind and wanted to get back with Ignacio, after he ended their relationship. But Ignacio refused and showed him a restraining order instead. Juan followed Ignacio at the Loma Linda hospital, where she took her son Juanito, because of a flu. At the emergency room parking lot, Ignacio and Juan had an argument, where Juan shot Ignacio on the right side of her head in the abdomen. While on the ground, she was shot again on the left side of her head. Juan grabbed the 4-year-old Juanito and fled. Someone anonymously dropped the child off at the home of a relative 17 days later. When their 4-year-old son was interviewed about the incident, he told authorities that there was ketchup everywhere. After nearly 2 decades in 2012, Juan Manuel Navarro was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison for murder. It was Valentine's Day of 2010, when Richard Schuck met his demise. He was gunned down by Reginald Coleman, the personal trainer of Schuck's wife and a part-time hitman. Richard was the 5th husband of Stacy, and had adopted her 3 children out of love. The couple were supposed to meet at Belton Bridge Park on Valentine's Day, to exchange cards and to celebrate their 3rd wedding anniversary. But Stacy never showed up. Richard was instead met by Reginald, with the moniker, Mr. Results, and shot him in his truck. Apparently, Stacy wanted to get the life insurance payout of her husband, amounting to $500,000. But she never received it. Instead she received jail time. Her accomplices, Reginald Coleman and her former employee, Lenitra Ross, were also indicted in the crime. Oscar Leonard Karl Pistorius is a South African convicted murderer, and former Olympic and Paralympic sprinter. Both of his feet were amputated when he was 11 months old, due to a congenital defect. On February 14, 2013, Pistorius shot and killed his girlfriend, paralegal and model Reva Steenkamp, in his home. He claimed he had mistaken her for an intruder hiding in the bathroom. He was arrested and charged with murder. At his trial in 2014, Pistorius was found not guilty of murder, but guilty of culpable homicide. He received a 5-year prison sentence for culpable homicide, and a concurrent 3-year suspended sentence, for a separate reckless endangerment conviction. Pistorius will be eligible for parole in 2023. Expelled student 19-year-old Nikolas Cruz ended the lives of 17 people and injured 17 others, at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, located in Parkland, Florida, on Valentine's Day of 2018. Armed with a high-powered military assault rifle, he sprayed bullets at the school, resulting to a devastating and senseless tragedy. The expression of love with balloons, cards and flowers, were replaced by blood, fear, screams and horror in the hallways, as the cowardly and sinister act was carried out by Nikolas Cruz. He was adopted by Linda and Roger Cruz. His father died on 2004, while his mother on November 1, 2017, leaving Cruz orphaned 3 months before the shooting. Since his mother's death, he had been living with relatives and friends. State investigators reported he had depression, autism, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. In their assessment, they concluded he was at low risk of harming himself or others. He had previously received mental health treatment, but had not received treatment in the year leading up to the shooting. He was charged with 17 counts of premeditated first-degree murder, and 17 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Police and prosecutors investigated a pattern of disciplinary issues, and unnerving behavior.